Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We're in the first epistle of Peter, chapter 5. We're going to go over the whole chapter. Now, Peter is appealing to those who are called as elders, as pastors. And he says, as someone who is a witness to Christ's suffering himself and who has gone through the challenge of ministry, he says, I want you to know that one day you will share in the eternal glory that's going to be revealed. So he's saying, tough it out. Because being a shepherd, being a pastor is not always easy. And Peter would know something about that. And so he says, it is your calling to tend to the flock that has been put in your charge. Not some other flock, the flock you have. Focus on them and to exercise oversight. What does that mean? To exercise leadership and to guide people in the faith and to, keep them out of the gutters, to stay focused on the true gospel. He goes on to say that they are to willingly and eagerly serve their flock, not because they're forced to, feel like they have to. And more than that, they are to be examples of what it means to follow Jesus. And they're to do this in humility. But then again, every Christian is called to live humbly before the Lord. And so, what Peter warns against is doing ministry for the sake of sordid gain, which is a way of fleecing the flock. That's not right. Or, a position of arrogance and power. And that's not right either. We are to be humble servants. Now, he goes on to say, those who are young, those who are immature in the faith, they are to accept the authority of their elders. You're to live under the leadership of your pastor. And why? Because they have been called, right, to be the shepherd. Perhaps one day you'll be called to be the shepherd, but you'll be called to a different flock. Now he goes on to say, this great verse 7, cast all your anxiety on God because he cares for you. And this is a summation of what Jesus himself preached in the Sermon on the Mount when he talked about don't worry about what you need because God already knows what you need. And that's the thing is, give your worries to God because he cares about you even more than you care about yourself, believe it or not. And as Luther would say, don't worry, pray. He goes on in the next verse to say, discipline yourself and be alert. That we should discipline ourselves in the faith. Why? He goes on to say, because your enemy is the devil, is prowling around like a roaring lion looking to devour you, looking to eat you up. And so resist the devil by standing firm in the faith. How do you stand firm in the faith? You keep doing the faith. You go to worship. You read the Bible. You pray. You fellowship with other Christians. It goes on to say that, yes, you're going to suffer a little while, but the God of all grace, the God who called you into the eternal glory found in his Son, Jesus Christ, will himself, God promises to restore you, to support you, to strengthen you, to establish you, so that in spite of the waves of challenge and suffering that we face for the faith, God will restore us. Lastly, Peter talks about Silas and Mark. And this is the Silas that Paul palled around with in Galatia. And Mark is the one who wrote the Gospel of Mark. He was a student of Peter's. Thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.